All right, folks. All right, thanks for joining. Hey, I just left a link. I just left a link in the comment box if anybody want to pop on, they can, because I don't know if I'm gonna go live tonight. I got a long honey-do list that I need to take care of, and man, I've been busy all week, from installs all the way to some commercial troubleshooting, all the way to residential troubleshooting. I ain't ran number one call today. Hopefully I can take the rest of the day off. But if I do get I am on standby. So if I do get a call, I will go ahead and run that one call. But I think I'm gonna shut it down for the rest of the weekend. We'll see. But if anybody want to pop on, I mean, we can. Like I say, I'll probably stay on here till maybe 3 o'clock if anybody want to participate in the live stream. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. I mean, that was more of a Goodman or a Daikin inflation. You see all the rebates, but I think those rebates go across all brands of equipment, and it's especially dealing with heat pump. We don't have a lot of heat pumps in my area, and some commercial properties we do, but a lot of time it's mostly natural gas furnaces down here and electric. So maybe that'll be a change. I do have some experience in heat pump, but like I say, it's mostly commercial. I'd rather not deal with them, especially when the reversing valve gets stuck. I prefer a straight cool natural gas system all day long, easy to work on. But hey, it may be a change, but most definitely, hey, that's another price increase gonna have to go up. But like I say, they do get a lot of rebates. So, but if anybody want to join the show, man, y'all more than welcome. I still got to work through my little phone grimaces. But if anybody want to pop on the live screen, you're more than welcome. Hopefully, I know a lot of y'all in the field is 2:35, on a Friday, still weekday. So I know a lot of y'all probably still at work, but you're more than welcome to join the screen. You can join on your phone, or, if you don't want to use your webcam, you don't have to. But it's a good thing being your own boss, man. You pretty much can make your own hours. Why I don't I might well toot that horn. I don't do a lot of bragging, man. But yeah, I do love the freedom. I pretty much make my own hours. I start pretty much now. The customers is the boss. So a lot of times, don't get me wrong, you work 24/7. Seems like it. If you ain't working on the business, you're out there in the field doing something. But I pretty much do make my own hours. So, and that's why I got to get some rest, like I said, but I do got a lot of stuff that I need to catch up around the house. Got to get out there and cut that grass. I usually cut my grass on Friday mornings to try to put the grass clippings out there for the trash man that run on Friday. But like I said, I did a air balance today at a residential unit. So I had to actually add some 12-inch dampers to control that airflow. But I got a flow hood, so usually what I do is I go around and do it before and after, and that's all in my jobber too, man. I got to set up right. I consider myself, I'm like the king of doing air balancing. I love air balancing. I learned that on my commercial job, doing duct traverse, but getting the supply and the return. But anyway, this particular customer, let's say the east side of their house always was warm, and the west side of the house was always cold. But they didn't have any dampers in there to control any airflow. So what I did was I added some 12-inch dampers, and I was able to balance that air, especially in their master bedroom. They had a big master bedroom, but their room was only getting like 60-some CFM coming out the register to try to cool that big area. So like I say, I just go around to each register with my flow hood, and then I know exactly, because I had one little small room. It was getting like 300 CFM, and that room was like an ice box up in there. So I was definitely able to push a lot of that air. And then there was a guest room too that they didn't hardly use. So I was able to get that down to like 85, 90 CFM and push the majority of that air towards the bedroom and the east side of the house. So they're very satisfied. And if anybody want to get into air balancing, man, I invest in if you try to learn up on that and invest in you a flow hood, you can make some good money because a lot of people don't know too much about air balancing. And that was a pretty good payday for 2 hours. Just adding a couple of dampers. That was the hardest part. And then just going around. And like I say, I got to set it up in my jobber where I get a customer before and after. Like I say, I got it. I got every bedroom name. Well, I ain't gonna say every bedroom, but every room name. Let's say like master bedroom, um, uh, guest room 2, bedroom 3. Then I got master bathroom. Then you got the dining room, the kitchen, the living room. I take a CFM reading off every diffuser in those rooms before and after, and they can tell exactly. Well, I can tell exactly what I need to do or what was improved. Let's see. I'm on some of these courses. Like I say, I got the link in the let me leave it again if anybody want to participate. But I am going to answer some of these comments. But like I say, I'm gonna get out of here at 3:00. Let me see. We just diagnosed my sister's house with a damper issue. 2 12-inch Honeywell damper not opening properly. Yeah, a lot of times you can just change them actuators and you're good to go. Cause a lot of times them dampers don't get stuck. A lot of times it'd be the actuator not opening. And she probably had one of the old actuators for them Honeywells, and then you just put a new one on there. It's probably good to go. But it could be a control issue also, or the damper could be getting stuck. Where did you learn more on air balance? Like I say, man, I had a good mentor on my commercial, my first commercial job that I was at, and we did a lot of air balance because we did a lot of startups on commercial properties, and we would have to do duct traverses, and he taught me how to use the flow hood, and really what's going out, what goes out. What comes in must goes out, and vice versa. Let's say if you got we worked on big equipment, so let's say if you had like 3,000 CFM on the return, you need 3,000, on your supply going out. But in residential, same concept. You know what I'm saying? You go to the furnace and see how much CFM that blower motor works, and go from there. I always start with the return though, see how much return I'm getting, and then I go around with the air balance. But yeah, man, I learned a lot of that doing commercial work. Like I say, I was well rounded in commercial, man. I did some of everything. But as far as air balancing though, man, I got a kick out of doing air balancing. I really had fun doing that. Like I say, 'cause a lot of people really didn't know how to do it. And it bring me great pleasure though, especially when you at a big building. I mean, some of these buildings like big high rises, and a lot of times, certain offices wasn't getting, enough air. I actually did 2 air balance. I did air balancing on a dentist property for a commercial. That was yesterday. I got a dental contract, and then the lunchroom wasn't getting enough air in there. So, but as long as you had dampers and stuff like that, man, the air got to go somewhere. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of what I'm finding in the residential, they don't have. Well, some of them don't have dampers, and that's where I do charge extra because if I got to put a damper in, I got to take the flex duct off the plenum, put a damper in, seal it back up, and then actually do the air balancing. But so I actually did 2 air balancing this week, and I got one scheduled for next Thursday. So I'm big on yeah, man. I try to find out when they say, because some people go years. Yeah, this my master bedroom. We've never seen it get get good airflow going to the master bedroom. Master bedroom, man. That's one of the most important rooms in your house right there. You want to be comfortable where you lay your head at. So, but yeah, man, I learned that on the job experience. That's why I learned that. I don't really know, and really, because I got under the wings. If anybody know my story, I think I told that I was doing engineering. While I was going to school for engineering, and when the company found out that I was going to school for engineering, they had an engineering division of department. So they were they will send me over there with them guys. And them guys smart, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, as far as me engineering, I started, man. I had, I'm not no math genius. I had to start from the beginner basics as far as math to build my way all the way up to, calculus 3 and trigonometry. But I learned a lot, and a lot of that stuff, we do use in HVAC in the field. But they would put me, they would get me up under them guys, man, and I had some good mentors, taught me a lot. You know, I actually got I need to find my notebook. I got a lot of that. I need to go back over my traverse formulas and stuff like that. But as long as you got the formula, man, you put it in, you good to go. Let me see here. I've been looking for training. Yeah, man. Well, I say that's the best. I'm sure it got some in that modern refrigeration handbook that I always talk about. I have to look that up. It might have a lot to do with air balance and the CFM in that book too. I'm sure it does. But the best thing to do, you can get with a good commercial company. They got their own engineering department, and you can get up under some of them guys. Yeah, man. A lot of these commercial companies probably don't even have an air balancing guy. They'll sub that out. Yeah. Let me see. I use the low flow anchor hood and the CPS. So actually, now when I was working so what I'm using now, because that's what I can pretty much afford. I'm using the CPS hood myself right now, and it's decent. It give me in that, you know what I'm saying? If I'm about 5 CFM off or something like that, that's really not a big deal to me. But the CPS, that's what I purchased. I think I purchased it maybe last year, and that's what I've been using. And it's been doing, especially for residential, that's all I need in a small commercial building. But I have used for my company, man, I use flow hoods up with $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 flow hoods. I'm talking about even like the old analog flow hood. But now the CPS flow hood that I'm using, it hooks up right to the phone. The phone app. Actually, I still got it pulled up right here because I was using it this morning. Let me see. Yeah, but this CPS, man, I like it. That's how it look right there. You see the CFM? That's how it look right there. I mean, it's decent. It get the job done. It definitely get the job done for the price. And I think all together with the little meter thing, I know I paid under $500 for it. But you got flow hood, like I say, $5,000, $10,000. Hopefully one day I'll be able to invest in one of those. But most definitely the job gonna have to pay for it. But they let me say, I love the Ankler for the simplicity, but the CPS let you save the data per room. Yeah. So like I say, so with my I don't know if I can show it real quick. So in that CPS, I'm talking Tommy. So in that CPS, I haven't been using. I see where you can save it. I'm gonna see if I can pull up how I've been using mine. I'm gonna show you. I'm talking about it's nice too. I just made me a little job for him this morning. Let me see. I just made a nice little job for him for this morning. I'm gonna start using that. I'm talking about it's gonna be a money maker because you can see the before and after. Well, I'm gonna show you. It's nice though. Let me show you real quick. It ain't gonna take long. Let me see. I'm gonna show you real quick. Let me share my screen. Oh, add to the screen. Let me show you real quick. So I'm gonna pull this up right here. Let me see. Setting. Yeah, I just made this job for him right here. Let me show you. See, air balancing right here. See, I got before and after. So instead of putting it in that CPS app, I just put it right on my Jabber app, and I can email the before. See how I got it? You know what I'm saying? Air balancing CFM before, entire CFM balance. See, I got living room, and let's just say if they had like 85 CFM going to the living room and the kitchen, 85, dining room could have had like 100. Master bedroom, bedroom 1, 2, 3, 4. I did up to 4 bedrooms. Some of these I might, if they don't have number, 3 bedroom, I just leave that blank. got a bathroom, 2 bathroom, got a laundry room, spare room. Any notes that I have, I can put it right there. So basically, when I got the flow hood, I got my app. You know what I'm saying? I got the flow hood. I'm checking the CFM. I got my app and I'm putting it down. That's the before, and I do a before and after. So I'm doing it fast. Like I say, make $1,000 in 2 hour worth of work. Well, I don't want to talk about money because, like I say, so you can make good money doing that. But I know in different regions, some people probably charge 10,000 what I've done. Some people would say 1,000 too high. Some people probably would charge 200. You know. But for my time, like I said, you got to pay for the flow hood. You got to pay for my expertise. So I think that's for what I did is fair, and that's really what my going rate is. We can talk about money a little bit. It's gonna cost you a minimum of $1,000 if you want me to come in there. Cause once you do get it set though, you ain't got to worry about it. I know some customers be watching my videos too. So if you it's an investment, but you want to live you want to live comfortable, tired of going to a hot room, you know. And we're gonna knock it out right. We're gonna get you right. I can control that airflow now. Like I say, as long as you had dampers, and if the customer had to get dampers. Sometimes if you already got dampers, we good to go. All right. So he say, which do I prefer though? So let me go back to this question. Let me Google this right here, man, because I never heard of the ankler one. Let me see how it look. Right quick. Hey, Tommy, how much it cost? It say low four ankler hood. Let me see here. Okay, this one right here, man. I'm not. Yeah, I probably would prefer this. It's an expensive, man. Yeah, I seen this one right here before. And the one we use at work kind of like this, but yeah, I think this one of the more. But the style that I had was kind of like this, but it had like a bigger base. Oh, I ain't showing my screen. It had a bigger base bottom. So you talking about this style? Yeah, like I say, it was kind of like this style right here, the one we used at work. Let me see if I can get another picture. Let's see if we can get a price on it. Like I say, some of these things expensive, man. Let me see here. I just seen a price right here, $460. Yeah, I don't know. See, I think these just for the accessories, but I know how to hook up all these accessories right here. Yeah, see, 3,800. Yeah, so I answer your question, man. Yeah, I prefer this one right here, but I can't afford that one right now. Yeah, I definitely. So, anybody got a contact with Ankler? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hey, tell them your boy WW HVAC, man, would love to try out this flow hood right here. Tell them send us one. We'll do a review on the channel. WW HVAC. All right. So I'm saying South Texas in the way Ridgewood air conditioning. All right. Y'all holler at Tommy, man. Any customers in the Ridgewood, Ingleside area, I'm sure he a good technician. Hit him up, give him a try. Let me see, we deal with a lot of zone boards, so dampers I know all about, but air balancing I've been looking for more info and training on. Yeah, man. Hey, air balancing pretty easy, man. Like I say, all you got to do is go to your furnace though. Just start from the basics. Just go to your furnace and really see how many CFM is that blower motor kicking out, and start from there. If it say it's supposed to be kicking out 600 CFM or something like that, I mean, you should be able to add, like I just showed you that job form sheet from the living room to the kitchen. It should add up to 600 CFM on your supply. And then wherever your returns at, if you have one, let's say you have 2 returns, you might have 400 come from one return and 200 come from the other turn. They should add up, and then this say, this a rule of thumb. Just say if you have I like to balance it like a rule of thumb, how many square foot a room is, that's how many CFM you should have going out. So if I got a 12 by 12 bedroom, that's 144 square feet. So you really want your flow hood to be, or your supply to be issuing out 144 CFM. And that's just a rule of thumb. And you can kind of talk to the homeowners, do they like it cold? I mean, do they like a warm? Is it a room that they're not using that much? And they say if they like it colder, a room that's, and like I say, that's just a rule of thumb. So if that guest bedroom they're not using that much, and it's 12 by 12 also, it need 144 CFM also. You might want to bump that down to 125 CFM and get that master bedroom more. So it's kind of like that. All right, shout out to Mr. Crawford, man, with the super chat, man. I appreciate it, Mr. Crawford. Appreciate it, Mr. Crawford, man. Hey, all y'all with the super chats, man, I really appreciate it. Hey, if anybody that, all y'all that can't donate to the channel, hey, I appreciate y'all too, because y'all, all 23 of y'all right now, and all the people that, at work, and anybody that like and subscribe to my channel, anybody that take the time out to hit that like button, man, is much appreciated. All right. Like I say, shout out again, Mr. Crawford. All right. So he say, I'm going through a 9-month certification program and just apply for Linux as a counter sales rep to start and eventually get a tech role later. All right. Yeah, man. So with that in mind, hey, whatever you got to do to get your foot in the door, hey, do it, because just don't get stuck and get comfortable behind that counter. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you finna be meeting a lot of contractors coming in that's going to be, and then you can kind of don't bite on the first thing that's smoking unless you just have a good intuition that's a good deal for you. But kind of analyze the contractors that's coming in, see if they're a one-man show, or they building, they growing. Do you think they're a good company? What kind of employees they got? As far as the technician, kind of listen out with the technician, see if they hiring. But don't jump on the first thing smoking. Just kind of analyze a few of them contractors that's coming in, or a few of the technicians that's coming in that they're saying they need help. And like I say, just don't get tied down to that in the company. Don't tell the company. Don't. I wouldn't really tell Linux either that I want to be a technician or thinking about that. Don't even tell the employee that either. Just kind of keep it to yourself. And and the technician stuff that's coming in and the contract that coming in, we ain't for let's say if I come in and you trying to analyze me or ask me questions, I ain't fit to go back to your coworkers or your boss at Linux and say, hey man, he trying to come out into the field or anything like that. But try to keep it to yourself and to try to be nice and build relationships and go the extra mile behind the counter, man, to try to help, whatever position that you in, be a good service. That's what we're here for, to serve the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on service, man. I believe, I really and truly believe that's why we're here on earth, and that's to serve others. That's to help each other out and try to be a good service. So whatever you're doing, because I always said, man, when I was in the position that I was in, I ain't had no job. I was down on my luck. Even if I had to get a job at McDonald's, I was going to be the best fry dropper at McDonald's. And that's just the way it was. So I already knew no matter what, when I made my mind up to do something, no matter what I did, I was going to be good at it. So if I would have chose a plumber, I think if I'd have chose to be an engineer, electrician, get in appliance, whatever I did, I was going to be good at it. So if you're going to take on that role at Linux, even though you want to be a technician one day, be a good, the role that you're in now, do good at that. And then somebody might notice you, but you can't wait on nobody to notice you either. I remember when I was working at a grocery store, putting milk on the shelf. I always said in my head, you know, ain't somebody gonna notice I'm putting this milk on the shelf, I'm a good worker in this grocery store. I always have my area clean. Man, dude, the cavalry ain't coming. Ain't nobody coming nowhere to save you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you still gotta, do a good job. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's gonna be building character too. But I always did have back of my hand, oh man, somebody gonna get me out this grocery store. I know somebody gonna, entrepreneur or CEO gonna notice how hard I work. That ain't happening, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, you'll get that role later, man. But I tell you from the door right now, I don't know what area you're in, but I'll probably start trying to fill out application with HVAC companies right now. You know, let me see. Chill Vibe Zone. I come from a TAB company now. I'm going into residential service. Any advice? I don't know what a TAB company is, but hey, the advice is the same advice I gave. I gave IW 304 2003. Man, whatever you do, be a server. Try to serve others. Man, work hard. Dominique say, do you offer them sensors? I don't really know what sensor you talking about, but the air balancing that I did today, like I say, I got the master bedroom a lot more CFM. I think it was actually 65 more CFM than they was getting. And I think that's really gonna solve their problem. And they also had a home office that was lacking airflow also. So I gave and the wife says as soon as I finished up that she already started feeling the cool air. But a lot of time when you do air balance and stuff like that, now numbers don't lie. But a lot of times when you do an air balance stuff like that, you still got to monitor the system and keep an eye on it. So I noticed they did have a Nest thermostat. So Nest come with averaging sensor. So I don't know if they averaging sensor or not, but I told him they come with little round sensors. I don't think they averaging sensor. I think one sensor just take over the set point, but it'll monitor the space the temperature of the space. So let's say if he put one of them, I told him, hey, you might want to go buy you two of them averaging sensors, put one in the master bedroom, one in that office. And that'll show up on your phone. You just add a device and then you can look at the temperature that's in that master bedroom. So but you can have the master bedroom take control. So let's just say if it's 70 degrees in the hallway, but it's 74 degrees in the master bedroom, technically, if the sensor take over in that master bedroom, the unit shouldn't shut off until that master bedroom satisfy whatever the set point is. But I don't really know what sensor you talking about. Scott say, appreciate that wall. I got a honey-do list myself to take care of already, man. We got happy wife, happy life. Let me see. That's the one angle. Yeah, CPS is perfect for residential though. Yeah, man. That's why I say, hey, but that ankle, yeah, that'll be the goal one day to get one of those, man. But yeah, for residential, man, I go with the CPS all day. I slept on that CPS for a good little while too, because like I say, I was used to using one that cost $5,000 or $6,000. And I was like, ain't no way in the world the price of this CPS is going to be efficient or sufficient enough to do what I needed to do. But it get the job done. It already paid for itself too. So, all right, man. So let me see. I'm answer a couple more of these questions, man. We're gonna get out of here, man. All right. Hey, shout out to Dominique, man. Appreciate it, man. Hey, and yeah, man, get the training. If you can find some training in air balancing, hey, go ahead, man. Hey, that's a whole nother I ain't gonna say career, but that's a whole nother skill of its own. I guarantee you, ain't too many people in your area know too much about air balancing. And you can, you know what I'm saying? And you have a lot of houses, you just bring it up. Hey, you got a room that ain't cooling or whatever, you just bring it to them, man. When people have extra money, they'll definitely want to get it done. Yeah. But thanks for the super chat. To clarify, I want to get a tech position with Linux. Oh, you want to get a tech position with Linux. Okay. So they got y'all starting at the counter first to work your way up. Like I say, whatever you got to do to get your foot in the door, you know, go that route right there. You know what I'm saying? If you think that's the easiest way. So, yeah. So, and Linux, I think that's commercial Linux, right? Or do they have a residential and commercial department? Like say, so I had worked for, you can call it Train. I work for Train, but you got Train, Carrier. Carrier, that's a good company to work for. Linux, I don't know too many people work for Linux. But man, whatever you can do to get your foot in the door, I'm sure they pay well if they got that name behind them. PSA should not be out working. Hey man, hey, I'm working. I'm working when I'm not in the field. I got a lot. Like I say, man, I got a lot of my favorite saying, man. Where Earl Nightingale say, "Hey, hey, you having a business, man, it's like a ship. You know what I'm saying? Always in need of repair." Earl Nightingale was big on ships and stuff like that. You know, he liked to sail. So man, it's always something to work on your business. Like I say, I can be doing job forms. You know, I can be working on my marketing, my SEO. You know, checking on a few things. I think like I told you, man. Like even this right here. I think my last video, I say I invest in my company. Look, I ain't got no money, man, but I invest in my company. You know, this marketing right here. I do stuff like this, man. I do a lot of networking and things like this. Like, see this ad right here? You know what I'm saying? Like, see this ad in the paper? You know what I'm saying? So these like planned communities right here, though. I put little ads like this in the paper. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all can see that, but I be on Google. You know what I'm saying? That's why I stay busy. My phone, hey, phone always ringing. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get a little break. So we had a little, I ain't gonna say a cold front, but it got down to like 80 something. And it was feeling like fall in the morning for 2 days. And man, now we already back 90, 95. It's 91 out there right now. So we probably got another month or so of warm air, mid 90s. Yeah, I'm a little familiar with Daikin mini splits. Daikin, Mitsubishi. Actually, I think Daikin really got some of the best mini splits. To me, they almost like the founder of mini splits. But Mitsubishi and Daikin, those my go-to. But Daikin, yeah. And then I got a partner work for Daikin also. He a tech support for Daikin mini splits. So if I have any questions, I can hit him up on his personal line. And he can tell me everything about that Daikin mini split. Yeah, he say Nest do. So yeah, so you talking about them sensors like that, yeah. Hey, so I don't do that flat rate pricing book, man. That was just something that I was reselling when I first started my business or whatever, but it ain't worth it. I've moved on to that. Now it's about overhead and knowing exactly what I need to charge. Flat rate pricing more of some. I think maybe you or somebody asked me how much I charge for certain things. I say, man, you shouldn't worry about what your neighbor charging or your competitor charging. You need to find out exactly what you need to be charging as far as your overhead. You know, so everybody can't have the same pricing. So I wouldn't go off of a flat rate pricing book. Like I say, I'm still learning. I already started my business in 2018, but I ain't go full time to 2020. And you know, man, you live and you learn. You know what I'm saying? But that book is definitely, I wouldn't. I think I even took down the video. That definitely not the route to go. Flat rate price. Now you can. I do flat rate pricing now, but I have my own pricing, not just no generic book. Yeah, I still got my Rockweiler, man. You want me to bring him up? I will bring him up. He chilling right now. He up under his mini split. I told you that mini split his, because he is about 90 something. He don't like that warm air. Let me see. There's a lot of background work for the business. Yeah, man, it's a lot of, like I say, man, y'all see me in the field, but they be like, that's like 10% of the work, man. It's a lot of work, man. It need to be done. So don't get it twisted. I encourage anybody, hey, yeah, start your business, go ahead and jump. That's what I'm about. But at the end of the day, everybody ain't built for this. Everybody ain't ready for this. Like I was saying earlier, I decided I don't care what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be good at it and I'm gonna succeed in it. So I already knew once I started my business, once I decided to leave my company and start my business, I knew I wasn't gonna fail. I know I am not going to fail. I know I'm gonna be successful in it. I'm gonna be successful in anything I put my mind to. Like, so I don't want y'all to think this is easy. It ain't always easy. You know, it's a lot of risk and a lot of responsibility, you know, behind this. You know, a lot of learning curve, you know. But I'm a hands-on guy. I like to learn from my experience. I do a lot of research also. And I don't mind taking risks. I try. I throw money at it, see if it sticks. Sometimes, you know, I lose money too. But I never know until I try it. You know. Okay. He said same with you. So y'all use a lot of y'all installing a lot of nests then. It got down to 58 in the SIP in the Delta last week at night. Yeah. That cool air gonna be coming. I'm ready for the winter though. That one thing where we from around here, man, it might be 90 degrees in December though. It'll be cold. It'll be cold for a couple of weeks. Next thing you know, 90 in December. So we pretty much use our AC year round here. That's another thing people be scared of too, man. Or they starting the business. That was like the number one thing people ask me, man, what you gonna do during the winter? Man, I'm be working during the winter. That phone, ring all year round. Especially if you're a small company though. So let's just say a big company. A lot of y'all work for big companies. Let's just use that guy that say he's gonna work for Linux in the future, right? Dude, Linux got 10,000 employees. And let's just say they got like 20-some technicians in whatever area that is. Yeah, it might be slow. You trying to keep 20 technicians busy every day. Yeah, you might be slow, but I'm one man. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely keep myself busy all year round. You know, and that's another thing too. Then we talking about different kind of money. So if I was just depending on one paycheck, let's just say the company paid me $700-800 a week. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Let's see what y'all guys get paid for. Let's say 50 times 40, right? So 50 times 40, right? That's 50 times 40. That's $2,000 a week, right? Before taxes. So you might be bringing home $1,500 a week, right? And you got to work the whole 40 hours for that. Man, if I'm working for myself, I can a lot of jobs I can get that in 1 or 2 days. So let's say if I got the $2,000 in 2 days off 2 jobs, let's say installing the blower motor one day, went out. Next 2 days, maybe a capacitor went out. You know, right there, man, I'm at $2,000. And I ain't worked but what, two days? Well, 2 calls really. Cause you can do that in 1 or 2 days. I ain't necessarily gotta work the rest of the week if I was dependent on that $2,000. I ain't really gotta work the rest of the week. That's just how I look at things. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is, I always said this before I started my business. Okay, if I got the rest of the week, if I ain't, let's say the phone ain't ringing. Let's say if I just got them 2 calls, Monday and Tuesday. Let's say if I made average ticket $400 or something like that per call. So that's 2 calls, made $800. Man, what you think I'm gonna be doing the rest of the week? Just sitting around, twisting my thumbs or whatever? No, that's why I say that's when you got to do the behind the scene work. You know what I'm saying? That's when you got to work on your business, or network, hand out business card, put out bandit signs. Like I say, I ain't put out no business card, bandit signs in a while. When I first started, I did. I was putting bandit signs on the corner. The bandit signs, you put them on the corner. The lawn care company, whoever cut the grass in the city, might snatch them up, the next day or two. But I would learn too. Hey, this even when you putting out bandit signs, hey, city workers, 5 o'clock on Friday, they gone. So I wouldn't put mine out. You can ask my wife, man. I used to get up. Let's say I paid $100 for 100 signs, right? Bandit signs. Man, I would. What do you prefer? So I would. So I would get up around about 8 or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night sometime, man. And that's when I had I still got my truck, my black Dodge truck. Man, I put me some bandit signs. I put me probably about 25 bandit signs in that truck on the back. And shoot, I already know the city workers, they ain't gonna be back to work the Monday morning. But I put them signs out, man. I swear I would get calls, that weekend or whatever. Hey, I seen your sign out. And I remember the first time I used them little bandit signs, I think I was advertising. I say first pound of free on there, and I had my number on there. AC work, and so I just had my number on there. Let me see. Hey, it's Walter. Angie leaves, man. I don't want no part of no Angie list. I've been told y'all to stop calling me.
Oh, you want me to put you on the do not call list?
Oh, please, Jack, man. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah, when I first started my business, I was using you guys, but I kind of moved on for that. But what would be the benefits of someone joining Angie list? And you say you call Angie list or Angie leads? Y'all change the name?
Angie leads. We did is now Angie ads, so it's not the same thing. Like we send you leads on this end, and then Angie ads, which used to be Angie's list, was more like advertising and stuff like that. So, but basically here at Angie Leads, what we do is we just help people grow their business by giving them homeowners that come on our website their contact information, so they can just call the homeowner back and then bid on the project. That way they can, expand their business. Does that make sense?
So how many contracts do y'all send that one lead to?
On average, it's 2 or fewer.
2 or fewer. I remember a few years back, it was like 5 contracts y'all sent one lead to, and all contractors had to pay for that one lead.
Yeah, well, now it's on average 2 or fewer that we match them up with. So I mean, things have changed, I think, since the last time you've heard about us. So, but yeah, the way that we work here is it's a pay per lead model. So those leads just range based on the size of the project. So, for example, if we're just taking AC installs, then you're looking at a lead fee range anywhere from $74 all the way to $334. So, usually when you're making anywhere from $1,000 to a few, that seems like a pretty fair price, right?
$1,000 for what? So
we're looking at central AC installs right now.
So it'd be $300 for a lead?
Well, the range depends on the size of the project or how much money we think can be made from it, and that range is anywhere from $74 to $331.
300. So the maximum price is $300 on the install.
The maximum lead price is $331. Yes. And then for businesses, it's $78 to $158. So it's a little bit cheaper for commercial work.
Oh, I would think commercial work would be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, that's what the numbers that I have here, and they usually fluctuate just based on availability and stuff like that.
So how many commercial calls do you average? Do y'all get a lot of commercial calls? So y'all moving into the commercial space now? Y'all was residential.
Yeah, I mean, we're mainly residential, but we are also accepting commercial work. So, I mean, right now that's a market that we're looking to get into. So, but it's still mainly residential. The majority of your leads will come from homeowners.
So how can you guarantee me that you're only going to send 2 leads to the contractor? Well, I'm sorry, 2. How can you guarantee that 1 lead you're only going to send to 2 contractors, myself and another competitor?
How do we guarantee that?
Yes. You said you're only going to send it to 2 contractors.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the average. I mean,
it's an average. Okay, so average, it really is 5, but it's averaging 2. 2 contractors going to reach out back to the homeowner. What you mean the average? What's the average?
So max.
Yeah,
yes,
max.
We will send it out to 5.
Okay, yeah. All right, man. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you can go ahead and just take me off the do not call list.
Oh, come on, man. That's I gave you the average. The average is 2 or fewer. Why not look at the average?
Yeah, you're trying to hit me with the okie doke though. Now, I asked you plain and clear. I said y'all used to do 5. You said nah, averaging 2. But now go ahead, man. I'm finna get ready to run, and you can go ahead and take me off the do not call list. I appreciate it though.
All right, fair enough. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, man, he trying to hit me with the okie doke, talking about 5. Yeah, I forgot where I was, man, but like Angie, listen, I mean, I tried them when I first started. I tried Thumbtack. I don't use none of those lead generation companies no more. But like I say, sometimes, man, you got to do whatever you got to do to put your foot in the door. But that particular one right there, they'll eat you alive, man. But some people, they say, because I have had some people got a lot of success out of Angie Lead. Well, they say they'll be so far in the head of the game as far as installs and stuff like that, where they have, where they have actually got installs from Angie Lead. And like I say, they so for lack of a better word, all the bull, they'll just take up with it. You know what I'm saying? All the bad leads because they kind of up on them, whatever. And I think they be charging a yearly rate also. But as far as like a Thumbtack, Angie Lead, man, like I say, I like the affluent community. That's the people that I like to service. A lot of those customers right there, man, they just looking for the low ball. They looking for the cheapest price they can get. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I stay away from it. I don't want those type of customers. I always red flag those type of customers. You know, I think I explained one before. My service charge is my service charge. Once you start negotiating any of my prices, really, Now, if you're one of my customers or whatever, we can kind of. But when you start negotiating my service charge, that's a problem right there. So in Jobber, I got this little tag. I red tag a customer quick, fast, in a hurry. You know, I kind of give them a break and kind of see how they work, but any little thing that tick me off or whatever, I get rid of them. I get rid of them fast, man. But I'm gonna ask a couple more of these comments, man. I want to leave at 3, but I see we got a couple more comments I'm gonna try to get to. So he say, what do you prefer, sole private, LLC, part-time? So when you starting off, man, see now, I'm more of I'm letting, so actually I just started my S corp, because when you make a certain amount of money, you want to get the tax benefits. But a sole proprietor and an LLC don't have any tax benefits. They basically the same thing. The only thing about the LLC, why I started out for LLC, is protect. It's a limited liability, so it's protecting your personal self. You know what I'm saying? So you're a sole proprietor. Just say if you brazen in somebody's attic and you burn down their house, something like that. If somebody sue you, they can go after your personal stuff. If you're a sole proprietor, they can go after your home, they can go after your cars, anything in your name. But if you're an LLC, they can only go after, what's in that business. So basically, to me, LLC always like insurance, but as far as tax benefits, they have no tax benefits at all. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you're LLC, you got to pay your Social Security, you got to pay all that into the business. Because I think if you're working for a company right now, because I see you say part-time, you work for a company right now, I think you probably pay like 7.5% of your Social Security and your medical and all that. And then the other half of the 7.5 your company pays. So, and that's total of 15%. But when you go full time in your LLC, man, they're gonna tax you, man. I remember last year I had to write like a $35,000 check to IRS, and that ain't fun. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I got a good CPA. And then, but like I say, when you start making so much, a certain amount of money, you got to talk to your CPA and y'all sit down and then that's another thing too. I know you say part time, man. I ask anybody, please, when you go into business by yourself, get a CPA. I remember when I first started, man, I talked to a couple guys that been running business for 30, 40, 50 years, and that's the first thing they told me, to get a CPA. So definitely encourage you. I know you probably don't, you know what I'm saying? I say you got to take care of the business part of it first. Day one, because I already preach, get your LLC, get your EIN number, but go out and find you a CPA. Tell them you just started, you ain't got much money or whatever, but they not that expensive, man, because you don't want nothing to backfire on you. They're actually going to save you money in the end, like I say, because you don't want Uncle Sam knocking on your door, man. They'll come with all these undercover looking cops and everything, because they want their money, man. So whatever you do, go, get you a good CPA. If you starting out part-time, start with LLC. Don't start a sole proprietor, though. At least protect yourself, because anything can happen, man. Especially we dealing with these type of equipment. People will try to sue you for any little thing. In some of these states, I know it's not required for you to have your contractor license. I don't even know if some states you required to get insurance, but please get insurance. I actually had my first claim on me a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain things that you just can't control, but I had insurance and they took care of it. So, and it really, you know what I'm saying, some bull crap what they tried to get me for. But I'm gonna tell you what they tried to get me for. So here in Texas, I don't know, y'all see a lot of our that we got ACs in the attic and they connected to up under the sink. And I'm gonna do research on what I need to do about this, but I'm almost for to start telling the folks they got to get a plumber before instead of me on stopping that little drain coming out of there. But anyway, because actually one of the AC it wasn't. I was the last one to touch it, so of course they blame me. So the little rubber piece that goes to up under the sink, up under the trap, that was tight. But coming out of the wall, the trap on they sink, it wasn't lined up correctly. You know what I'm saying? So I guess when I left, I didn't screw the trap on there all the way. And I had, and it was 3 restrooms that I did like that, because I flushed all 3 systems out. And this last particular one, man, I used to fill my sink up and then let it out. But I really can't remember, and I don't think I did on this one right here. I used to fill that sink up and then let it drain out with water, but I swear I don't think I did on this one. I should have, because, like I say, the pipe that's coming out the wall and that sink wasn't lined up, and that trap wasn't on there right. But I don't know what was up though, but it just started dripping and it kind of messed her vanity up. It wasn't a bad spill or anything like that. I don't even know what my insurance company rewarded her, but I see they did solve the claim. I just got an email yesterday actually. Cause at first the lady was talking about it's a bunch of mold, and it was a little baby mansion too. But she was a stay-at-home mom, and she's just looking for something. It's really a long backstory too, because she had like 2 other. Oh man, I ain't even gonna get into it. But yeah, man. But get insurance. I know sometimes be long-winded on some of the questions. I know some of y'all probably ask me a question, man. I give you a whole magazine book worth of answers, but I don't think some of this stuff is not as simple as it seems. But yeah, definitely. Hey, start with your LLC if you're gonna be doing this part-time, and then once you start making a certain amount of money, get with your CPA and y'all go from there. But definitely, get insurance too. There's a lot of stuff we don't talk about, but get insurance and a CPA. If I tell y'all anything, get you a CPA, man. I'm telling you now. All right. I opened up my LLC in 2020, but still doing it part-time. I need to make the jump, but it's tough. All right, man. You'll make that jump when you're ready. You don't really know how tough it is until you jump, though. Is home warranty company worth it? Do they lowball prices? So, I mean, to me, it's worth it. Like I say, so I had one of my partners hit me up the other day. He might be watching, but he was like, he can give me $150,000 worth of business credit. So I text him back, no, I don't need no business credit. So if I was doing it part-time, I mean, that's how, like I say, home warranty company might not be for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? But do they lowball prices? It's I use warranty company, so I won't have to take credit. You know what I'm saying? I wanted cash flow. That was good cash flow. So when my SEO, if I'm getting 2 or 3, 4 calls a week for a home warranty company, otherwise, when I would have been, the phone wouldn't be ringing, or I'm just like somebody say, just sitting at home not doing nothing. I'd rather be making something than nothing. But I know for sure, man, sometimes I can make more off of warranty companies than I can make off my own customers. You know what I'm saying? Some warranty companies, man, pay. Well, I ain't gonna say all my own customers, but some warranty companies pay my regular prices. And then if you be with some for a while, even the worst ones, hey, look here, I ain't running no more calls until you pay me without, or take me off your list. If they don't want to, if they want you, they'll give you what you're asking for, or kind of at least meet you in between somewhere, so both of y'all be satisfied. But you know what I'm saying? I like warranty company. I'm a fan of warranty companies. You know what I'm saying? I probably can get more pros and cons just off the top of my head right now. But man, to me, just say a warranty company. Sometimes, man, the warranty company get a bad name, but a lot of time it be the warranty customers. They be the worst ones sometimes, because they just want every little thing they think they're gonna get every little thing for free. So let's say if I was signed up for when I first started or whatever for a warranty company, I ain't really read the dotted lines and what was covered, what wasn't covered. I used to charge the warranty company for everything. Now you got to find out what's covered and what's not covered. Sometimes the customers are responsible, for non-covered items, and you charge that customer for that. And as I say, man, you can get a bunch of hardly no warranty companies. To me, it's free marketing. That's the main thing right there. It's free marketing. And man, I have customers right now that started with warranty companies. They're not with warranty companies anymore. I have great customers that start with warranty company. I'm talking about $1 million homes. They got a warranty company. And a lot of time they call me for certain things, or I just get in that neighborhood. They tell their friend. It's just good marketing to me. You know what I'm saying? Because really, let's say if I get a customer, if I get a customer out of SEO, let's say if I'm paying $3,000 to $5,000 to try to get on Google, and that customer called me, I'm paying for that customer right there. That money coming out that $3,000 to $5,000 that I'm paying for SEO, search engine optimization. But warranty companies, I ain't paid a dime to get that customer right there. So you got to look at it like that. Because you say low ball, right? So let's just say a warranty company. Let's say if you would have paid, let's say if you would have charged the customer $300 for a capacitor, but that warranty company want to pay you $200 to install that capacitor. Man, it's free marketing. So really, you still getting your $300 because you're not paying for that marketing. You know what I'm saying? You just got to look at things a little different, So it's still all kind of, blend together. But like I say, you got some bad warranty companies, man. You got good warranty companies. But there ain't really no straight answer I can give you on that right there because, hey, you might get with the wrong one. But I always tell people, hey, when I was telling people to get on with warranty company, if some of y'all been listening to me for a while, I say, hey, Google the warranty company and sign up with all of them. You know what I'm saying? Try all of them out. Some of them you're not going to want to deal with. Sometimes I only deal with a warranty company. Sometimes if they don't have a good platform where I can send my work orders in, or sometimes I might be on hold too long or something like that. If I ain't finna be sitting on hold 2-3 hours either, for you. I got warranty company. They got me an authorization limit of $1,500. So that's $1,500. You know what I'm saying? That I ain't got to call them for nothing. If it's under $1,500, I just go do the repair. You got some warranty company that do a $200 call in limit. You see the range of that? So, I mean, I want to say some of them different. But I think in every aspect, to answer your question, dude, I mean, I ain't going to load. You got to get your line items right, man. Then what? Saws on some joist stud spaces out for a 6-inch round duct supply running on a new construction. Scratched my cornea, had to wait in the ER for 7 hours. Got my eye drops and everything. Oh man. Hope a speedy recovery for you, Michael, man. Yeah, man. Gotta wear them safety glasses, man. Wear them safety glasses. I know sometimes we'll be thinking about it, man. It's just good safety glasses. I mean, I had a video one time, man. I was like, you gotta be careful what you post on YouTube. I had a video one time. I was trying to they had a vertical air handler. Well, not an air handler, but a furnace. And then they had the coil, and they had the supply plenum. But they had a beam coming right across. I could not get that plenum up there, man. So I had to cut it back. I posted that on YouTube. They were making all kind of comments. Some dude, oh man, you gonna get sued. The whole house gonna fall down. I'm like, man. So I ain't want to be liable for that either. So I definitely took that video down off YouTube right there. Cause some people, man, they'll be trying to enter tag numbers in, trying to find out exactly where you post that video at. And they'll probably try to contact the FBI, anything to get your license taken away. Got some evil people out here in this world, man. But hey, man, hope for speedy recovery for you, man. Be careful out there. All right. Thomas B say, read from a script. Yeah, Angie List. Yeah, man. Angie Lee, straight fraud. That's a for sure right on right there. Yeah, Angie Lee, yeah, is always fire. Yeah. All right, Aunt. I'm going to try to get caught up on some of these. Them says it's extremely hard to do home warranty when the HVAC company is trying to serve a paying clientele. True that. Let me see. I don't have a home warranty. I have a breakdown protection, AC, refrigeration, etc., protected through my insurance company. Okay. Have you used them yet? LLC to protect your personal assets. Yeah. Can you be LLC? Now you gotta can you be LLC? Now that's two different entities right there. You gotta pick one. When your S corp is a little bit more involved with it, you gotta have meetings and stuff like that. And then you gotta pay yourself a salary. That's why I say you gotta start making a certain amount of money to be an S corp. All right. Oh, I say, what's a good CPA, man? You got to find you a good CPA. Like I say, I'm not gonna necessarily refer you to anybody that I use, especially on YouTube like this. But man, just search around. You got some good CPAs. So let's just say, don't get an accountant twisted with a CPA. A CPA, they go to school for countless hours, to get certified to be a CPA. When I forgot what you call this dude right here. He was doing my taxes and stuff like that, but he wasn't a CPA, and I thought he was. But now I got me a good CPA for about the last year or so. But this other guy was something. I had to ask my wife what this guy was, man. But he was straight fraud. So, and he was referred by Dave Ramsey, but he wasn't no CPA though. I forgot what you call him. But he had his certificate. He didn't go to school to be a CPA. Like I said, you got to put a lot of hours in. So if you can get that title though, a CPA that actually went to school for it, just make sure they are CPA, because anybody can do your taxes. If you want me to do your taxes, I can do your taxes. And I'm gonna tell you, because the first thing when I first started my business, dude, my background, man, like I say, I'm a business owner now, but I ain't come from privilege or anything like that. So I always work. So I always been the type, hey man, I'm trying to get much backers on my taxes. I'm trying to get that tax return, all that good stuff. So, hey, I use the TurboTax that thing, right? I'm talking about straight TurboTax. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to get the max. I'm entering in whatever. Yeah, it's gonna give me the max. I hit the submit button. Nah, that ain't enough right there. I gotta go. That ain't gonna work right there. Bam. Okay, yeah, that sounds good right there. That sounds good right there. So I come from that kind of background. You know what I'm saying? I come from a background way back in the day. Hey, I'm 18, 19. Hey, you got some kids I can claim? You know what I'm saying? We get a chick, man. She got about 5 or 6 kids. She can't claim number 2 or 3 of them. Hey, let me get about 2 of them kids. You know what I'm saying? Hey, every time little stuff like that come back and backfire on you big time. You end up paying for all that. Cause IRS, they know what's up. They not stupid. But so when I started my business though, hey, I kept that same. This in 2018. Now I'm still working part time. Don't get me wrong. I had a W-2 too. So, but I was doing it TurboTax. Where you just kind of enter numbers in. So I'm thinking when I start my business, I'm gonna TurboTax that thing out, save a couple dollars or whatever. Nah, man, that's not the when you got your own business, legitimate business or whatever, and you got all these invoices, get you a good CPA. The CPA that I use his when I first started, I use QuickBooks or whatever, but now I use my CPA QuickBooks. You get you a good, so that's another question. Martinez, when whatever CPA you got, ask them, do they have QuickBooks? And can you get on their account? That'd be a good question for them. See if you can get on their QuickBooks account. So they can, all your stuff, you get you a good software like Jobber. And it'll, your CPA really appreciate it, man, because everything will be organized or whatever. But now let them take care of that, man. Don't try to file your own taxes when you're in business, whatever. Let the professionals do that. Same thing, like I tell the homeowners. Homeowners be asking, hey, how can I clean that drain line out? Hey, man, let a qualified HVAC technician like myself clear your drain lines out. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about all that vinegar and bleach and stuff like that. Let me do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost the same thing with us as a business owner. Sometimes we have to let the professionals take care of some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that's their expertise. You know. Oh, we say, what's a CPA? I thought you were talking about what's a good CPA. Yeah, it's an accountant. Okay. Certified accountant. I don't know the exact words. Certified public accountant. There you go, right there. Oh, man. What's up, man? We got to give it up to Australia in the house, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. We worldwide around this thing. All right, Australia. Hey, we got Australia in the house. Okay, I'm a little bit behind in the check. You was at 328, so we got to go at least to 4 o'clock then. We worldwide around this thing, man. What's a fur down unit? Y'all networking? So fur down unit is kind of like a little small, little evaporator coil. Around here, we see in a bunch of apartment complexes and stuff like that. But maybe like a 1-ton unit or something like that. Yeah. I would bring a picture of it, but I don't think we had time. But yeah, fur down unit. I think Goodman sell fur down units. All manufacturers don't sell fur down unit. Okay, have your vision for your life company come together so far. What's next? Thank God. Your vision. What's next? I don't know what's next, man. Hey, I don't know what's next, man. But hey, at the end of the day, man. So that's why. So I don't really know what you're asking me. But as far as, man, I just wanted to live the best life. I'm really just trying to live in the present, man. Because I feel if I just take care each day and just try my best each day, the future gonna take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? As far as, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and this really what I found as far as what helped me be successful, and I think what helps successful people be successful is just the process. I really fall in love with the process, not the end goal. I think a lot of people quit early because they looking at that end goal. Because we live in like a microwave society. Everybody wants stuff. Everybody want to be successful that quick. Everybody want things now, done fast, especially as far as career and stuff like that. A lot of people probably bail on their career because it's taking too long. Man, it seems like, I think I mentioned this a few times though. Whenever I did try to skip steps or take a shortcut, man, it don't end well. You know what I'm saying? It always come back and bite me. Whenever I try to skip steps. So my main thing is just the process, man. And then whatever me and my wife decide what we want to do in retirement and stuff like that, if we just take care of what we doing now, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna take care of itself. But we just gotta live, day to day. I think, just try to serve others, like I said earlier, to treat people right. And then this thing, life don't reveal the back of the book. I don't know, what's down the road. I really don't try to show. I'm not going to share my immediate goals or my long-term goals. I really try to keep that to myself and with my family. But man, I did like to take care of today. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take care of today, and then today I'll take care of tomorrow, But I do, hey, but I do thank God though. You know what I'm saying? Every step of the way, I thank Lord Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? I pray to him often, all throughout the day. I pray without ceasing. But if I got God and Jesus Christ in my life, I know whatever I got planned, whatever my goals is, I'm gonna achieve it. Or whatever he decides what's best for me. That's the route I'm going. This mic right here, this is a Shure SM7B mic. I don't know if you can see that that little green thing in the back there, but that's a Shure SM7B. And I got a Rode mic right here. You see that? That's a Rode mic right here. That's a Rode mic. I use that every now and then. Really, that Rode mic what was picking up the audio on that inflation, what you call, because it's some glitches I gotta get straightened on this live screen, like even the phone calls and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get better and better at these live screens, y'all. Like I said, we checking in early. I was gonna do one tonight, but there's a lot of things that I need to do around the house. It's actually 90-something degrees out there, so I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. I'm gonna go cut the grass. My wife wanted me, I got to put some shelves up. Oh, man. Got to hang some. I already hang some mirrors up on one wall. Now she want me to take it down and move it to another wall. And I'm like, oh, man. But I need to go ahead and get that knocked out. Yeah. Gotta say free promotion. I think that was he was talking about that warranty. Let me see, Phil. I tried home without one time. All those sites are scams. It's like feeding the frenzy. If you don't answer that phone call on the first ring, you messed that job, and they still charge. Yeah, because you got to think about it, man. That's why I say I already put that money into something else, though. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it, though, man. Then I wish I can come out with an app like that. Think about it. If everybody, that dude said, sometimes you'll pay up. We're talking about a home advisor now, Angie List. He said you can pay $300 some per lead in some cases, right? Now he's sending that. What's that? 3 times 15. He's sending that. That's $1,500 that they got, and ain't no more one person, and they do this all day long. So whoever Angie is, man, you know she a super big now. Matter of fact, that's why she was on like the Super Bowl commercials. They had an ad in the Super Bowl commercials last year. And y'all know them Super Bowl commercials is expensive. So whenever you see really any company mainstream like that and they charge you, you kind of want to stay away from that because they got a Super Bowl commercial, man, gonna cost you millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with a company like that, man, they got to pay for that advertisement. You know, so but that's probably almost like free money to them. Like I say, on one call, they done made $1,500. And keep in mind too, they don't charge they not charging the homeowners for these leads, you know. So put it this way, they just paying for marketing. They not even paying to get the lead, really. I guess they paying for marketing or whatever, but you really, man, reading the $300 because you paying for that Super Bowl commercial. But that's $1,500. Okay, so what I was saying, I'm gonna share my screen real quick, right? So what I was saying, so let's just say this $1,500, right? Well, let me go back. So you got $300 time. They fit to send that to 5 contracts. That's $1,500. Ain't number one contractor is going to get it. So let's take away 300. So Angela's done made $1,200 free money because the other contractors done put in. So what's up with this $1,200? If I ain't get the lead, why can't I get my $300 back? You know what I'm saying? Because you fit to satisfy that customer or whatever. So what y'all doing with the $1,200? See, the $1,200 is what paying for them Super Bowl commercials. And that's just one lead. So let's imagine if that $1,200, let's imagine that and you know, man, they like number one on Google too. You know what I'm saying? They're on the front page of Google. They get calls all day. And I'm gonna be generous when I say that. So that just say if they get 10 calls a day. Okay. Let's say if they get 10 calls a day, 7 days a week. Let me see. 10 calls a day, 7 days a week. All right. That's 70 right here. Then if you times that 12, they done made $84,000. Right? If they get 10, that's $84,000 of free money. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the 70 times 1,500. You know what I'm saying? So in a week's time though, and that's just in one city probably though. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that. Let's just say 50 states. You know they in every man. That's $4 million right there. That's why they can afford the Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's crazy, man. But I'd rather put that money. I'd rather put that money on myself. You know what I'm saying? That's why I preach SEO, man. Try to get on Google. Google worth it. Google worth it. You know, Google is worth it. Google AdSense, stuff like that, that's worth it. I already put my money in that. That's great to, I know for sure I'm just dealing with that one customer. And a lot of time, like I told you, the manager list customers and those lead generation, man, 9 times out of 10, them customers, they want the lowest price. That's why would you go to the middleman anyway if you're trying to look for an HVAC company? You know what I'm saying? You can Google Washington AC, or you can Google AC in my area. Why I got to go to Angie List? Because they know they trying to get a cheap, affordable contract because that's what Angie List promoting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what you say. Most of them, they horrible, man. Don't put yourself on Front Street like that. Yeah. Nah, man, it's all good, man. I ain't, I be my own judge, man. I know people out there gonna judge it. That's what you're supposed to do. When you see somebody, you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing, what they say, first impressions or something like that. But man, I'm so confident, man. I really don't hey, I know that probably ain't what you're talking about, but now I'm very confident in myself, man. Especially like I say, man, hey, I'm good. I'm good. Is a chance expensive? I don't know. I don't really understand what you're saying. Big O. How long were you in the field before you started my business? I was in the field 7 years. 7 years. That's when I pretty much started my business. Is a CPA expensive? Hey. Nah, man. Like I say, even if it depends on how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? You can get in trouble with the IRS, man. End up paying the IRS. If you ain't doing something right, you can pay them millions when you could have paid the CPA, whatever you think expensive is. So, hey, if it come to backfire on you, it can be really cheap. This say if you did something wrong in your taxes for the last 3 years, then IRS coming after you for $80,000 when you could have paid that. But at the time. And then, man, that's why I say you got to charge accordingly, man. If you in business, nothing be expensive to you because you really got to pass that on to the customer. If you're not a charity, you shouldn't be in business. You know what I'm saying? Your customer supposed to handle that CPA for you to stay in business. You got to charge accordingly. For you to, you know what I'm saying? Your customer should want you to be around, for the next 2 or 3 years or however, 10 years, so you can handle your warranty on the AC equipment that you install. Because, but man, that's why I say if you get behind in your taxes though, and you owe the IRS $80,000, and they interest is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you go a year because you ain't got that check to write them $80,000, and they hit you for interest, and then next year you owe them 120 because you ain't pay that 80 because they hit you for the interest so hard. And you thinking back, man, I wish I would have paid the $5,000 for a CPA. You know, even some even I don't know if how many of y'all caught that inflation, what you call that we started this live stream out with, as far as Goodman was saying that you have to every I wrote it down somewhere up in here. All the equipment that you install, you're supposed to keep track of that for the next 24 months, 3 years, or whatever. However many years that they say. It's same thing with all your invoices and stuff like that. It's written on your I don't know what area you're in, but if you got if you took your HVAC exam to get your contractor license or your master, and the law part of it, they're gonna tell you you're supposed to keep up with your invoices for a certain period of time, whether 5 years or 10 years. Any invoice that you get, you're supposed to keep up with it. So you don't never know when you're gonna be audited. You know what I'm saying? So this case, just because let's say if you're doing your taxes preparation on your own right now, and you know that's not your expertise, don't mean 3-4 years down the road the IRS can give you an audit, and especially if you make a mistake in the year that you're in, and then they might, okay, if you got over on us this year, let me take a look 3-4 years back, because a lot of times that's what they do. They're gonna let us get this year. Let us get 2022, 2021, 20, and 2019. So, man, I say get you a good CPA. CPA should be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Just look at it like that's one of your office workers in the background. Then if you have a question, just like you asked me that question right there, you can always, you know what I'm saying, have your CPA on speed dial. You have the EPA. Because, even like, let's say with my CPA, even when certain things come up, let's say if I want to get into government contracting or something like that, and they need a certain paperwork, you can always call in your CPA to answer those type of questions for it. So really, CPA, they like a lawyer, man. You know what I'm saying? Certified, or say public accounting. They like lawyers in the accounting game. They smart. That's why I say get you a qualified, certified CPA. CPA, yeah. So nah. It depends on how you look at it, man. They not expensive. Saying, do your research, man. How to vet a CPA, vet them, But if they got a CPA, if I say if they got that certificate, though, they have to do things by the book. They have to. I'm sure you got it. Because you don't really, man, you don't really want, I say you don't want to mess with the government. You want them to do things by the book, man. You want to try to save as much money as possible as you can, but do it by the book. Don't try to cheat the government, man. So if they're a good qualified CPA, I'll try to get somebody that I can, that can relate to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody talking over my head or anything like that. So 9 times 10, if you can look like me, so if you black, you want to get you a good black CPA, go for that. But if you can find you, hey, if they another culture or anything like that, but you can relate to them, I go that route right there. So how often do you have to pay a CPA? Depend on, they'll give you what you call a engagement letter. So you can quote, they'll give you quotes. They go around and get quotes. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you an engagement letter. Sometimes, they'll work with you. Some I like to pay everything once a year. I don't do no monthly subscriptions or anything like that. I want to pay you once a year. You're on my team. Like I say, you're on my Rolodex, whatever you want to call it, email, got you on speed dial. But some of them, they say, I'm gonna throw a number out there. They say they charge you $4,000, take care of everything, right? You probably can do 2 payments, 2,000 here, 2,000 there. Let's say you want to pay them in March, 2,000 in August, finish up paying them in August. But like I told you, but CPA, those are the people that are gonna handle your taxes, and I say I'm going from LLC to S corp. Them the ones that gonna do all the paperwork for you, and a lot of stuff you paying for, if the IRS do audit you or something like that, them the people that's gonna, take care of all that for you. All right, B say great. I appreciate it. I'm 24. I just switched to commercial, working with Johnson Controls after residential for about 4 years. Whenever I try to shortcut it bites. Yeah. Yeah, Johnson Control, that's a good company right there, man. I think they took over York Equipment. Yeah. Is that, let me see. Billy Talk, is that for service work too or just installation? I don't really know what Billy talking about. Cause I'm a little bit behind. All right, man. I'm finna get ready. It's 4 o'clock though. Tampa, Florida, checking in. Keep it up the great work. Big O. Hey, I appreciate everybody for joining the live stream, man. I was gonna come on tonight. I still might pop on tonight and no telling, man, but I gotta get out there and cut that grass. And then I got a lot of stuff to do around the house too. But man, everybody have a great weekend. If I don't, like I say, but I'm gonna check back in. Like I say, I might do a live stream this weekend or something like that. Okay. Billy say home advisor. So he was talking about is that for service work too? Keep up the Oh no, I don't know. You probably came on late, man. Home advisor this call when I was on the phone. They said anything from $75 to $300. But all that a scam, man. But I can't tell you to stay away from home advisor because home advisor have been good to some people. So like I say, hey, I'm new in business myself. I don't know everything, man. You know what I'm saying? I only can really speak out, and that's me. You'll never really hear me speak on something that I don't know about. I'd rather not even answer your question, or I pass along, or maybe somebody in the chat that had more experience than me can answer your question. But I ain't never been the type to, man. I ain't. But man, I'm out, man. I'm out. Shout out to Augusta. Yeah. Say have a great weekend. We got Katy in the house. What's up, Leroy? Might see you around town sometime, man. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.